One day in Kabul in the Barki neighborhood, the Shohada school was full of the usual hustle and bustle of students. Leela, Arya, Fariba, Hussein, and Zara were 5 close friends who attended school together every day. They always laughed, studied, and talked about their future together. Each of them had big dreams. Leela wanted to become a doctor, Arya an engineer, Fariba a teacher, Hussein dreamed of becoming a pilot, and Zara aspired to be a great writer one day. That morning, the sun gently shone over the schoolyard, and the sound of laughter and joy echoed through the air. The friends, as usual, were discussing the upcoming exam in a corner of the yard. Arya, who seemed a little worried, quietly said,
"Do you think tomorrow's exam will be difficult? I haven't studied enough yet."
With a reassuring smile, Fariba replied,
"Don't worry, Arya. We can do it together. We'll be fine."
Hussein, always full of energy, confidently added,
"After school today, we can go over everything together. No need to worry."
Everything seemed normal until, suddenly, a distant, ominous sound was heard. Moments later, a powerful explosion rocked the schoolyard. In an instant, everything changed. The schoolyard turned into a scene of devastation, and the air filled. Arya, severely injured, struggled to get up, desperately looking for his friends. But all he could see was destruction and suffering. With a faint, pain-filled voice, he cried out,
"Fariba, Hussein, Zara, someone, please help."
That day, not only the school's walls crumbled, but the dreams of its students shattered too. Months later, life for Arya and his friends never returned to normal. Arya, who was once full of energy, now sat in his dark, small room at home, staring blankly at the walls. Every night, the sounds of that explosion and the screams of that day replayed in his mind, and he couldn't escape these nightmares. His mother, concerned and helpless, would tell him every day,
"My son, you must be strong. Life must go on. You are our only hope."
But Arya, with a trembling, sorrowful voice, would only respond,
"Mother, why me? Why us? Everything changed that day. I can't be the same anymore."
Meanwhile, Fariba, who was once full of life, had now secluded herself in her room. Since that day, she hadn't spoken a word or left the house. Her mother, worried and anxious, would sit by her door every day, pleading,
"My daughter, why don't you speak? Why won't you come out of your room? Everything will be okay. You just need to be strong."
But Fariba, with a quiet and emotionless voice, would simply say,
"Mother, I don't want to see or hear anything anymore. It's all over."
On the other side, Hussein and Zara, forced to work to support their families, spent every day in a small, dimly lit carpet weaving workshop. Their hands were worn and tired, but they had no other choice. As Hussein pulled the yarn through the loom with his weary hands, he asked Zara,
"Zara, do you think we'll ever go back to school?"
Zara, who had also lost hope for the future, quietly replied,
"I don't know, Hussein, but we have to keep going to survive. Maybe one day we'll get another chance."
But as days turned into weeks and months, nothing changed for these 5 friends. Each of them struggled with their own pain and suffering. Arya with his psychological trauma, Fariba with her depression, and Hussein and Zara with the hard work at the carpet workshop. They were all searching for a way to escape their situation, but the future remained uncertain and bleak. Arya, deep in thought, mused to himself, "The 4 of us lost everything that day, our future, our dreams, and maybe even ourselves. But we're still alive, still trying, even though life is hard. Maybe one day hope will return to us. Maybe one day we'll go back to school. But until that day,